Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah, I have one issue. I understand that, I mean, I've been reading the media, the news, watching the news, all this stuff. I understand that, you know, all the Corporation for Homelessness is getting ready to drop $300 million because they just don't have it. And that's why they're cutting everything out of this, everything out of that. But one of my really big concerns is the people that are staying here that have jobs, even if they're on a GA bed, other than the really mean social workers, the majority of the social workers are like, finish out your extension, stay here, make money. But a lot of them work on second shift because a lot of the things that only managers want to hire people for is this swing shift, mid-shift stuff. Well, there's been numerous times where my domestic partner has been coming in here when he gets off work. This is dinner. Why I get dinner, why I bad dinner, it doesn't matter. This is a meal. And 3 times already, he's asked for a sandwich at the service station. And they're like, we don't have none. We ain't got none. Can I get some clean socks? Ain't got none. And it's not like we don't have any, like we're not even bothering to look. It's, we ain't got none. And then give you the look like, we're not getting up off of our seats to even bother to check. And that's probably causing a lot of issues. A lot of people are coming in late because there's a lot of people here that have a lot of late passes because of their job. And that's something that I really think, as this group is concerned, really needs to be taken into account. I mean,
Sure.
I understand
How long
that
have you been here, sir?
since March 1st.
March 1st. Okay.
And I've only been here a month, and I've noticed that when I first got here, even during that week, it was checked in late, checked in after 7, got a sandwich, you can eat upstairs, and I'm totally for that, because I'm the one who does. You know, take your sandwich, eat downstairs, eat outside, just not upstairs. But they're not even getting that now. I mean, I don't know if that's coming from a deficit cut, or is it if it's coming from just people being short of hand, or if it's people just not doing anything at all. And that's one of my concerns, because there's a lot of people that are coming in here after 8 o'clock after getting off work, hungry because the only thing they had was breakfast. And they're working 8, 12, 16 hours. And they don't even have a chance to eat because we're here. If we had money, we wouldn't be here, if you understand what I'm saying. And I just think that's something that needs to be addressed for this community as a whole, that it is a community need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can understand you're fairly new to this facility, so you may be unaware as to what the rules and regulations are. You're probably unaware as to what this particular facility is contracted to provide you, because it sounds from what you're telling me that you have expectations that in your perspective are not doing that, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So, what type of bed do you have here?
I'm a GA bed.
GA, okay. We serve breakfast and dinner, and you mentioned another guest of ours that is working late.
Yes, my domestic partner, he's also a GA bed.
Recently arrived here?
Yes, we both arrived at the exact same time. We've been toes to toes since we've been here.
Are you guys working?
Is okay.
And I work breakfast in the
we-
morning, so I know how the food bank thing runs with Matthew and Amelia and Dawn and
Food
those people.
services.
Yeah, I know how the kitchen world runs.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so there is a reasonable accommodation form, if we can get documentation from you, if you work at night. You know, I talk to you, the other person that you're speaking about is not here, so but they're welcome to speak to Wayne. Matthew is a food services supervisor. You have to, so we provide breakfast and dinner, and there's specific hours for that. Okay, and that's what we're budgeted for. So what you get right now is what we're contracted for and what we're budgeted for. Certainly, you know, this additional sandwiches that I make available in the evening is not part of my budget. It's something that I do for the guests here. So when you say that by the time this particular person comes here, there's no sandwiches, that's probably possible. But I'm also letting you know that I don't get any funding for those sandwiches, okay? something that I do because I understand that people, and I would want to motivate as many people as possible to go out and work. That's what's gonna help you eventually, is, you know, you start saving money and find a place to leave out of here. Okay, this is an emergency shelter, so ideally that's the goal. But if you're able to provide some proof that you're working, I'm sure that there's, you know, paychecks or paycheck stubs or
Yeah.
something,
Receipts, there's
right?
oodles of them, yeah. It doesn't
Okay.
take a second to write a letter, you know.
So it's always good not to assume, it's better to ask, you know, so, we're budgeted and we're contracted, we're fully in compliance with what we're supposed to give you. If there's any special needs, because that would be a special need. If you weren't able to meet, dinner, you know, what I offer past 7 o'clock is a courtesy. And it can't happen, on any day. I try as much as possible to provide it as consistently as possible. But if I don't have it in my budget, I can't afford it, so I can't buy it. But what I do is I check in with a whole lot of St. Vincent de Paul conferences, and they help me out in making this happen. So that's one approach you can take. Okay? And here, I'm
Yes.
gonna let it, just 1 minute, okay, just because he started already.
I wasn't aware that someone who's in jail can work and still,
Elect, the services.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
And now comes the next question. Why don't they pay part of the amount of money that you had to spend to give them a bed?
say that again, sir.
If you're working and you're on GA, you get GA free and you get a certain amount of money at the end of the month. Why can't you pay part of the money that you're making to cover your bed?
Who can pay the money?
The people
The
that.
people who are working.
He wants to know where the cost is coming from.
What's that?
No,
That's not what I'm saying.
It's not a question of cost. But if you're working and you're getting GA benefits and you're getting GA cash, why can't you put some of it back?
He's asking why there isn't a copay.
The client to put it back?
Yeah,
No, this is what he's saying. He's
copay.
Well, okay, so a couple of things, okay. One, I do not work for the CAP office, so I cannot legally represent them.
Yeah,
What I can do, and it's something that we've been working on, we had a large community meeting last month, is to try to arrange for someone from the CAP office to come in here, okay, and address those questions. What I can say, though, is that, you know, the idea of having someone work, you're gonna need that in order to be effective in transitioning out of a shelter. So if you're, and again, I'm not speaking for CAP, so if you're having to pay CAP back, then it's gonna take you much longer to transition out of a shelter, right? Because it's gonna take much longer to really save up what you need to move into a room, an apartment, or whatever's all that you wanna move into. Okay, so when we identify the representative from CAP that comes here, make sure you make that meeting, okay? And you can present your concerns and your questions to them.
Just to
Okay.
add on, the way that works is you can work up to a certain amount of money. 'Cause like you
Before
said,
they take the benefits
yeah,
away.
It's to help you out, exactly, and that's, after you start making, it takes you.
Oh, there is a limit.
Full-time work, and then once you start up to get full-time work, then your benefits start coming down, it's, that's,
okay.
it's.
I didn't realize.
Like you said, to get you back on your